We are very happy to organize this webinar series on the occasion of 8th International Day of Yoga, and it is extremely well, and it is a great pleasure from the bottom of my heart to introduce today's speaker, Professor Ganesh Dutt Sharma sir. People know him by the name of GD Sharma. Sir was formerly chairman of the Department of Yoga Studies of HP University, Simla. He was HOD of the Department of Yoga Science, Registrar, and Dean in the University of Patanjali, Haridwar. He was head of the School of Yoga and Naturopathy, and he was chairperson of the Yoga Chair for Speech Research Studies and senior advisor in Sulani University, Solan, HP. Sir has worked as yoga expert in the status of diplomat at Jain ICC Embassy of India, Jakarta, Indonesia. He has been published more than 100 research papers, articles, journals, write-ups in the national and international journals. He was a member of different academic bodies in India and abroad also. And he organized second International Day of Yoga in 2016 in Chandigarh, where the Honorable Prime Minister was the chief guest. Sir was awarded the title of Yogacharya, Yoga Ratna, Yoga Bhushan by the President of India. Sir is going to deliver his lecture on the cosmic power of the universe, Prana Vayu. Now, I'm requesting you, sir, please give your valuable lecture for our participants. Sir, please come on your dais, sir.
Thank you. Dhanyavad. First of all, as per our tradition, I would like to adore and to submit myself on the holy feet of the God and Gurus and all the rishis, saints, sages, planets, five elements, etc., etc. Because the singing or the chanting of the mantras in Sanskrit is not only a simple singing or chanting, or it is not only a symbolic or mythological singing. It is not a singing of dogmatic and ritual beliefs, but it is a singing through which the practitioner tries to go inside. So after the singing, I will again take over to explain the efficacy, the significance of these mantras only for 2-3 minutes. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatam hang vande paramanandam madhavam. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhiravavatu Me Sadaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. After taking 2-3 deep breaths, now I'm remembering all those great philosophers, exponents of Oriental India, of the Prachya Bharat, who gave us this wisdom to be on the right path of life. Om Brahma Murari Tripurantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Suto Vidascha Guruscha Shukra Shanirahu Keta Kurvantu Sarve Mama Suprabhatam Brigorvasishtha Kriturangaraschcha Manu Pulahasta Pulahascha Gautam Rabhyo Mariche Chavanascha Daksha Kurvantu Sarve Mama Suprabhatam Prithvi Sugandha Sarasastataiva Sparshim cha Vayu Aganishcha Teja Navasha Shabdam Sesa Shaiva Kurvantu Sarve Mama Suprabhatam Kurvantu Sarve Mama Suprabhatam Kurvantu Sarve Mama Suprabhatam. After remembering all these divine forces, which are blessings us each and every second or each and every fraction of a second to lead our life comfortably, conveniently, and consciously. So it is essential to watch after singing or the chanting of the mantras, since every one of you who is connected through this seminar or webinar, through the virtual mode, are the learned people of the field of Sanskrit. I have never been a student of Sanskrit. If there would be any wrong pronunciation while referring some of the Sanskrit quotes, please do excuse me because I'm not expert like you. But I must try to share, try to advise you that after singing or the chanting of the mantras, try to feel the sound vibrations which moves out the body and which moves inside the body. When they moves outside the body, they go and eliminate it into the cosmic power or in the Brahmanda. And these sound vibrations, when they become active in the cosmic energy, then it multiplies the power, strength, and the efficacy of all the elements and properties, including gases and other components like atoms, etc., etc., to give us more energy. And when the sound vibrations moves inside the body, it awakes each and every organ, each and every muscle, each and every nerve, each and every tissue, each and every genetic nerve to work and function more smoothly. So consider that we are in the symbolic singing, but always feel we are in the scientific style of singing. Because when we talk about the science, science looks after the metabology of the body, or the biomechanics of the body. When we when we sing, then right from the sound vibrations to its influence on the vocal cords, vocal arteries, and the glands which are located on the surface of the throat get rejuvenated, toned up, and strengthened. Feel these vibrations. Feel the currents of the singing. More you are comfortable in singing, more you are rhythmic in singing, more you are deep in singing. By controlling the breath, more beneficiary you are. Don't sing the mantras haphazardly, but sing them by feeling the dancing sense of the body. Only then it will help us. With these words, again I'll sing home. Om Bhavani Shankarau Vande Shraddha Vishwasarupinau Yabhyam Vinana Pashyanti Siddha Swantastham Ishwarim Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Central Sanskrit University at Tirupati, Professor Radhakant Thakurji, the other officers of the university, Dr. Lakshmi Narayanaji, and Acharya Rahul Sharma-ji, I'm very grateful and I express my gratitudes that I am given the opportunity to be a part of this webinar and to acclaim and accredit my presence. I have on few occasions personally talked to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, and he is very kind enough to speak with the sense of oneness. He was very submissive while interactions. 2 days before, Dr. Lakshmi Narayanji and Acharya Rahul Sharma-ji also talked to me about it. So I feel honored because everything is a reflection on this universe, is a power of God, is a power of supreme force. And the person who wants to know this knowledge of Oriental texts, Oriental scriptures, he or she can learn that, absorb that knowledge with only one condition. And that condition is that if one wants to be familiar, be knowledgeable about the spiritual wisdom and the yogic discipline, then one must have the faith on the Spirit, the Atma, the faith on the reality of the nature, and the faith on the God. Without establishing this type of behavior, one is not supposed to be entitled to work on this beautiful discipline of yoga. And more than that, one must have the belief that whatever I'm doing, by following the different paths of yoga, it is more reliable to my existence, to my body, to my mind, to my sense organs, and to my mind stuff, the chitta. One should be true to the self. That's why Maharshi Patanjali speaks, Atha Yoga Anushasana. Atha means prior to the practice of various limbs of yoga, one must be prepared, one must be disciplined, one must have that tuning and acclimatization of that type of way of life, which is prerequisite for that. Since we are tuned and acclimatized to the materialistic world, and we are ignorant about the spiritual world, one cannot become a philosopher by attaining the knowledge in the form of qualifications. Qualifications in exchange and cashes us with some degrees and certificates, which may be an essential part to get a good job, but to have the glimpses, to have the realization of the soul and the dormant nature or the God, such type of qualifications are not prerequisite. For that, we need a spiritual, world-like qualifications, and these qualifications are dormant inside in the form of peace, happiness, stillness, calmness, submissiveness, and visualizing the whole world as my own replica, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And when we establish that sense in us, then we understand that if we are to reach, we have to catch the essence of that wisdom which has been left to us by these noble people, the sages, great saints and gurus. Only then we will be able to have the experience, to have the knowledge of that spiritual world. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. This is another message by the saints and sages. But how this body is a mean to every achievement of life. That may be a materialistic wellness, that may be a social wellness, that may be an intellectual wellness, that may be a personal wellness, or that may be a spiritual wellness. The body is the main source, main mode. Again it is said, dharmartha kama mokshanam arogyam moolam uttamam. So all these four areas have been covered in this saying, where we need a healthy body. Because healthy body is dependent on the healthy mind, and the healthy mind depends upon the healthy body. It is also explained that sharira jayate vyadhi, manaso naiva sanshayah, manasa jayate vyadhi, shariro naiva sanshayah. It means if someone is sick at the physical level, then the mental sickness is inevitable, and so the vice versa. Our body is dependent on the prana shakti or the pranic force. We can live without food, without clothes for some time. We can also live without water for some hours or some days. But it is very difficult to think even that we will preserve ourselves, sustain ourselves, our life without breath for a single second. So breath is an important part of our life. And this prana is a cosmic existence. Entire planetarium is dependent on that prana shakti. Prana is a Brahmandiya Shakti. Prana is a Shakti which also keeps everyone in action. So prana is mainly classified into two categories. One is samashti prana, and the second is vyasti prana. Samashti prana lives in the parapinta or the brahmanda, as Gorakshanath has explained in a text which he composed in the form of Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati, and the Vyashti Pinda is known as the Prakriti Pinda. That is the individual existence or the Vyaktigat Sharira. Both these Pindas, Samashti and Vyashti, are working round the clock. Why? Forming an equanimity among themselves. Without the Vyashti, without the individual purification, we cannot contribute to the pure and clean waste material which will be released to this samashti. And samashti is giving us those essential, those 5 elements and nourishing this body. For example, we take everything for survival from the earth element. There is not even a single source which we do not get from the earth element. Even to prepare the medicines, we have to excavate something from it. When we eat in the form of meals, fruits, vegetables, spinaches, flowers, and some other things, and when it goes inside the body begins to digest it. And that digestion is also dependent on the length of the prana shakti, how deeply we are inhaling and how deeply we are exhaling. Without that, we cannot adjust the food, because fire element is also strengthened up by the balanced content of air. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna told Arjuna, Aham Vaishwa Naro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita Prana Apana Gatiruddha Pachamyannam Chaturvida, or Prana Apana Samayukta Pachamyannam Chaturvida, which means that all the living beings, irrespective of the human beings, are dependent on me. Aham Vaishwanaro. I am the fire element in everyone. And I'm, when balance the prana and apana, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide inside the body, then it is me only through the body of a person digest the food which we take in 4 forms. Pachamyannam chaturvidham. There are 4 styles of eating. One is by chewing, one is by swallowing, one is by sucking, and finally one is by leaping. As we lips the sauces and the ice cream. But again, what should be the temperature of the entire fire element inside the body to digest a particular type of food. That depends upon the prana shakti. How much temperature we need. That is maintained by the air element, as we see. When the temperature goes high, in between, the fire soothes us with its cool breeze. So prana shakti is a cosmic power. ये प्राण की ब्रह्मांड की असीम शक्ति है और इसको करने के लिए we have to get up early in the morning. There are 80 types of marutas, 80 types of vayus or the airs which are functional in a major role inside this body. And this count has reached to us by the inner wisdom of the practical affiliations of these saints and sages. But out of them, only 10 have been classified in two categories. One is the main pranas, the mukhya pranas, and the second one is the upapranas or the sub-pranas. If one wants to measure the breath frequencies, if one wants to know how healthy am I, the Brahma Muhurta is the best time. Because in Brahma Muhurta, when we get up, when we leave the bed, we are charged with the energy. And when we are charged with energy, the body does not want to involve into a hard work. The speech does not want to speak a lot. The eyes do not want to see the deep colors. The ears do not like to have high vocal sounds. So in the Brahma Muhurta, we can enrich our body by going to the lap of the nature. Because nature then absorbs all the elements of properties of atoms, protons, neutrons, the electrons, magnets, vitamins, minerals, metals, rock salts, and also the values of the medicinal plants, which are very rare on the high mountains. And when we breathe in the lap of the nature in the Brahma Muhurta Kal or in the early hours of the morning, then our two nostrils, which behaves like two cylinders of oxygen, they become more active, and we are blessed by the nature to rejuvenate our pranic shakti inside the body. Acharya Hindu, in his Lok Smriti Ratnavali, has said, Brahma Muhurte ya nidra sa punya kshay karani. The person who sleeps during the Brahma Muhurta is deprived of from all the divine properties and the divine virtues to expose of. The person who gets up early in the morning during this time is really very fortunate to put his body and mind and the sense organs in a healthy condition throughout the life. And it not only restricts up to him, but the younger generation of that person's family, when watches, they also follow the same path and the tradition goes on. In Hatpradipika, it is said, Athasne dride yogi hitamit ashanaha kuropadishta margena pranayaman samabhyasit. Arthat, first of all, one has to master the asana or to master the sitting position to the practice of pranayama, so that there should not be any trembling inside the body. There should not be any deficiency in the flows of the intaking and outing the breath frequencies. Hitamita asana, and then also follow the rules of yogic diet, yogic meals. And that instruction is available in Gherenda Samhita, where it is said that annena puriyeta ardham toena cha tritiyakam udrastha tritiyansham sanraksheta vayu charane. That only half of the stomach we should fill up with the meal, with the food. The third part should be filled up with the water, and the fourth part should be kept reserved to the frequent flows of the breath. Only then the purpose of that Gita shloka Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva will be fulfilled. Guru Upadishta Marge. Then, under the able guidance, expert guidance, the visionary guidance of that Guru is required, who has practiced or practicing in his way of life every day. Only after that we can switch on to the practice of pranayama. Till then, no, not at all. Gherenda Samhita speaks, Athatah samprakshami pranayamam sadvidhim yasya sadhan matrena devatulyo bhavonara. Which means, O King Chandakapali, whom he delivered the practical knowledge, Maharishi Gherenda, O King, now I'll be explaining to you the significance of pranayama with its proper techniques. Yasya sadhan matre, by its practice, by mastering it, the body becomes like that of the gods. Devatulyo bhavennara. But he is also instructing that adau sthanam tatha kalam mita aharam tathaivacha. Nadi suddhischa tat paschat pranayaman sadhyet. that you have to select the time, you have to select the period or the climate, right time, right atmosphere, right meals, then practice first the Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama or the Nadi Shuddhi process to balance the flows of the breath and also to balance the functioning and the activity of the right and left nostrils. Pranayama practice is not complete, is not justifiable without the practice of bandhas and the mudras. Bandhas are the essential part of pranayama because when we retain the breath inside, kumbhakas are observed. Pranayam is only of three types. Pranayama stridha kuryat rechan puraka kumbhakaihi. It is also a suggestion from Hatha Pradipika that pranayam is done only by inhalation, exhalation, and retention. Then how to maintain it, how to reach to the apane juyhate pranam prane apanan tatha pare pran apana gati ruddha pranayama prayana anyate niyate ahara prananna praneshu juyhati. Again it is said in Gita. How to balance the apan into pran and pran into apan, how to convert the negative energy of the wasted matter of the air through the pranayama and to convert that into the prana. That's for that Krishna speaks pranapana gati ruddha. So we have to work on the frequencies of the breath, how to control, in which frequency one has to inhale, in which flow one has to exhale, and in what time of prolonged duration of retention. And some people, they work, those who are not comfortable with the practice of pranayama, Krishna speak, anyate niyate ahara. Other people, they become conscious about the meal tables and the meal discipline, and through that they take the sattvika bhojan or the sattvik food, and by taking that sattvic food, the flows of the breath or the pranayama shakti is controlled automatically. This prana, again it is said in Yoga Chudamani Upanishad, pranayamo bhavo devam patakendan pavaka pranayamo bhavo dadi prochate yogavi sada. The prana shakti perishes all the deformities of the body as the fire burns the wood. In Trishik Brahmana Upanishad it is said, Itham kramena charata vayuna vayu jinnaraha. The person who has a full control over the flows of the breath and its retentions after exhalation and after inhalation too, wins the element of breath inside. As I said before, it is also cosmic, it is also individual. When the prana, when this Vayu works outside, it has some values. Prana, when it works inside, it has also some values. These values are available in Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati. Because when it enters inside the body, Brahmanam, Dhavanam, Niruddham, Akunchanam, Prasaranam, these are the 5 values of the prana inside this body. Only through these each and every system of the body, each and every nerve, tissues and muscles of the body are made healthy by this element. This air itself moves and it also keeps everyone to move. ये वायु स्वयं भी चलती है और दूसरों को भी चलाती है. हम भी वायु के सहारे चल रहे हैं और वनस्पतियां भी वायु के सहारे चल रहे हैं और ये जितनी भी नदी नाले हैं ये भी वायु के सहारे ही तो चल रहे हैं. इसलिए don't get yourself separated from the conscious knowledge of the breath flows. In Vedas, this is a Vedic knowledge. It is said, Vayuna tvam pratyaksham brahma. O air, you are the living Brahma, whom we can feel through the sense of touch. Therefore, you should be conscious while working also. Because I'm not talking about the techniques. The techniques will be imparted to you, will be given to you by my great young friend, Acharya Rahul Sharma ji, who is teaching to you. He will let you know how to practice various kumbhakas. But I'm giving you the cosmic power and cosmic authenticity of the prana. Prano vai Brahma, prano vai rasaha. This is also available in the holy Vedas. Again it is said, that Vishwamitra, Pranaho Vishwamitra ayam iti Vishwamitraha. This prana is a friend of the entire earth and the planet. Kaya nagri madhye tukshiti palakaha. O prana, you are like a supreme monarch of this bodily kingdom. Kaya nagri madhye maruta tukshiti palakaha. You are the supreme monarch of this bodily kingdom who is unwitting. If you are there, my body is there. If you are not there, my body will not be there. And when my body will not be there, then for some time, your sub-force will work. And that's a force is the Dhananjaya prana. Though the main prana leaves the body, and with it all the other 8 pranas also leaves the body immediately. It evacuates from the body. But the Dhananjaya prana remains inside the body from 4 to 6 hours, depending upon the nature of the prana inside that body. If that body is holy, if that body has always been remembering to the God, then the prana also does not want to leave that body. He wants to enjoy that body. So in that condition, in the saints and sages, the representative of the prana in the form, in the name of Dhananjaya, remains inside and enjoy that body even after the death. And we can read the example of Yogananda Paramahansa and also some other saints. In a normal person, it takes 4 to 6 hours to leave the body. Till then, it maintains a desired temperature of the dead body so that it could not become sluggish. It should not deform immediately. It should not start giving foul smell. It should not swell. No water should accumulate inside the body. So this Dhananjaya prana is very, very important. And also, in main pranas, there is also one representative of the chief prana or the prana, that is the Vyana prana. Vyana sarva shariragaha, it remains inside the whole body all the times. Other allied pranas, they come and go. But the Vyana is a subsidized, it is a substitute which fulfills the deformities of other pranas. If prana is not reaching to some particular part of the body, that is looked after by the Vyana. That's why it is said, Vyana sarva shariraga, it is in the entire body. हमें प्राण का स्थान बताया गया, हमें अपान का स्थान बताया गया, हमें व्यान का स्थान बताया, समान का स्थान बताया गया, हमें उद्दान का स्थान बताया गया, लेकिन व्यान को कहा कि ये सारे शरीर में मौजूद रहता है, क्योंकि ये एक तरह का जिस प्रकार लाइट चली जाती है एंड देन वी यूज द जनरेटर. जब हमारी अंदर जो है बैटरी खत्म हो जाती है मोबाइल की या किसी दूसरे उपकरण की, तो हम उसको दोबारा चार्ज करते हैं. इसी प्रकार से जब व्यक्ति अचेत अवस्था में होता है, सपोज आफ्टर some problem one becomes unconscious or after fatal accident someone becomes inactive, तो उस वक्त ये प्राण सारे कार्य करना उस फ्लो से नहीं करते हैं जिससे होना चाहिए. Then who is the force behind their functioning? That is the Vyana Shari, Vyana Prana. So Kaya Nagari Madhe Maruta Tukshiti Palaka. हे प्राण, तो इस शरीर रूपी साम्राज्य का वो पालक है जिस प्रकार से एक राजा अपनी प्रजा का पालन करता है, और हमें इस शरीर की देखभाल करनी चाहिए. कहते हैं नगरी नगरस्येव रथी रथस्य एव यथा स्वशरीरस्य मेधावी कृतेष्व वहितो भवेत्. जिस प्रकार से एक राजा अपने नगर की रक्षा करता है, एक रथवान अपने रथ की रक्षा करता है या उसको ठीक रखने की कोशिश करता है, उसी प्रकार से नगरी नगरस्य, उसी प्रकार से स्वशरीरस्य, एक जो बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति है, एक जो ईश्वर के ऊपर विश्वास करने वाला व्यक्ति है, एक जो स्वयं के भी ऊपर विश्वास करने वाला व्यक्ति है, वो अपने शरीर के प्रति हमेशा सजग रहता है। और उस सजगता का मूल कारण है प्राणायाम के प्रति या प्राण शक्ति के प्रति सजग हो जाना। ये सब प्राण के सहारे चल रहा है। अंत में मैं इतना ही कहूंगा कि ये सारे के सारे जो एलिमेंट्स हैं, सारे के सारे जो ऑर्गन्स हैं, ये एक दूसरे के ऊपर निर्भर होकर के आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। And we are always riding on the shoulders of the God. Don't feel yourself isolated, that the custody of the God is not available to me. You are always in the custody of God. जिस प्रकार से, लेकिन उस कस्टडी के लिए प्राण निरंतर समानांतर और संतुलन की अवस्था में अंदर बहना चाहिए। ये मेरा सिर मेरी गर्दन के सहारे चल रहा है, गर्दन ऊपरी धड़ के सहारे अर्थात कि हमारे कमर के ऊपर के सहारे चल रही है। और ये जो मेरा धड़ है, ये जो मेरा ऊपर का अपर पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी है, इट इज मूविंग विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ द लेग्स, legs are moving with the support of the feet, feet are moving with the support of the earth, earth is moving with the support of the water, water is moving with the support of the fire, fire is moving with the support of the air, air is moving with the support of the nature, and nature is moving with the support of the akasha or the ether, and ether is moving with the support of the God. So please tell me where you are all alone. You are always in the custody of the God. With these words, I keep myself silent and stop my interaction with the saying, Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.
Thank you, sir, for your lecture. Now, I would like to request to our HOD, Dr. R. Lakshminarayan to give vote of thanks today. Okay. I request him to Dr. Lakshminarayan.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Sir. Really, we are very lucky, sir, having you on this dais. So I am fortunate to take the opportunity to express my thanks to beloved today's speaker, Professor G.D. Sharma, sir. Because in the India, he is one of the most senior professional who gained this yoga knowledge as experienced professional guru, and who is in such a high position to give his knowledge to all our people like you who are seeking this knowledge from the eminent personalities. Sir has explained all this information for his great and experiential insight into the subject, particularly in yoga, in the topic of pranayama and its various functions. Your explanation, pranayama and its authentic Sanskrit references with the practical application is most useful to all the participants and like the people of us. Sir, your explanation on various types of prana and their invisible function in the body are well explained because of your deep insight in the subject. Experienced knowledge alone is possible. It is not mere possible by this mere bookish knowledge. Only who are practicing regularly, as Patanjali Maharshi insisting, The regular practice as Satu Dirgha Kala, Nairantarya, Satkarya Sevito Drudavumi. Such people alone can be able to convey this message as practical experience. That alone can reach the public and the people clearly as it is mentioned in the ancient texts. So we are all very happy to gain all this knowledge by a professional guru like you, sir. We are very thankful to you, and we expect these occasions we are going to be present again and again in future offline itself, not only by mere online, because the pandemic is almost or is going to be end. So by the next academic year, we are trying to call you in offline with the permission of our authorities. Definitely, we are lucky, and we hope you will come to our university and you will bless it directly in offline, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. At the same time, I extend my thanks to the
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
ICT who gave these facilities without any interruption. And I am thankful to all our higher authorities who provide these facilities to continue this series of webinar on the occasion of 8th International Yoga Day. All of you, thank you. Dhanyavadam, sir. Dhanyavadam. Now the session ends with prayer. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham.
योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा बलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहु पुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशीर्षं श्वेतं पतञ्जलिं प्रणमाम्यहम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः